In this lesson, we're going to be solving binomial proportions. We're going to look at 5 different examples. Example number 1. 1/2 is equal to 7 over v minus 10. So we're going to do this in 3 easy steps. First, we're going to cross multiply. Okay, so we're going to cross multiply this way, cross multiply that way. So we have 1 times the quantity v minus 10. Notice how I put this in parentheses, equals 7 times 2, and multiply these two. Okay, this step we're going to skip on the next problem. We're going to go right from there and go 7 times 2 and just make it 14. So I got 1 times the quantity v minus 10 equals 14. So this will be our starting point in the future. So we have a 1 as a coefficient in front of the parenthesis or the quantity v minus 10. Since we have a positive 1 here, we can just drop the 1, drop the parentheses, and now we have v minus 10 is equal to 14. Making this very simple, solving a one-step equation, adding 10 to both sides, and we can see that here v is equal to 24. So if we take this v and plug back into our original, so if we move this for a second and plug back v into our original here, so we have 1/2 is equal to 7 over 24 minus 10, plugging in for v. 1/2 is equal to 7 over 24 minus 10, we get 14. And was 1/2 equal to 7/14? Well, yes, both 7/14 will reduce to 1/2. So you can check your work and you see that this is accurate. So let's look at these steps we did here. So first let's take that back. So the first thing we did here was cross multiply 1. Our second step was distribute. And our third step was to combine like terms and solve. Or solve in less, or just solve in general. So our 3 steps here: 1, cross multiply, distribute, and solve finally. Okay, so let's take this and carry this along with us on our next problems. Okay, so we're going to cross multiply, distribute, and solve. Cross multiply first. Again, you could draw the circles around this. Some people just draw arrows. So we have 6 times the quantity k minus 3 equals, and now I'm going the other way, 8 times 5, and we got 40. So maybe a nice idea is right in the beginning, as soon as you see 2 terms, k minus 3, maybe put those in parentheses right away. So we have 6 times that quantity, k minus 3, 8 times 5, and we get 40. We have the 6 in front now, so we have a coefficient greater than 1. So this time let's distribute in. 6 times k, we have 6k, minus 6 times 3 is 18, equals 40. This creates a 2-step equation, so we're solving for k, so let's isolate the k. The negative 18 does not have a k. Let's bring it over to the other side here. Let's add 18 to both sides. Bringing down my 6k, so 6k is equal to 40 plus 18. We got 58. Alright, we're getting closer. Now I just want k by itself, so let's get rid of the 6. This is 6 times k. Get rid of this by dividing by 6. Divide this side by 6. My 6 is simplifying, so we got k equals. If we divide 58 divided by 6, let's reduce 58 6. So right now we're on the right track. We can reduce this. We can divide both of these by 2. So we have 29 over 3. Can you reduce any more? You can't, so you could just say k equals 29 over 3. And you could leave it as an improper fraction. Take a look at the next one. Okay, so again, let's look at our 3 steps. Cross multiply, distribute, and solve. Cross multiply this way. Now, let's take a look at this example, or in the last example. So we had the fraction 5/6. If you notice, that fraction is in simplest form. Now let's take a look at this fraction here, 6/10. Is this in simplest form? Well, it's not. So we can actually reduce this. So what is 6/10 reduced? We can divide these both by 2, and we get 3 over 5. So let's say that this is going to be equal to 3/5 rather than 6/10, and that'll make the math just a little bit easier for us here. So now let's cross multiply again. So we got 5 times the quantity p plus 5 equals, now this time we have p times 3 and we get 3p. And that gives us variables on both sides. Okay, so let's distribute. So we got 5p plus 25 equals 3p. Okay, since we're solving for p, we want both our variables, or both the numbers or terms with p, both on one side. So in this case, I'm going to bring this 5p over that way. That will get my p's all on one side. So minus 5p here, minus 5p here, leaving me with bringing this down. That goes away. So we got 25 equals 3 minus 5p is negative 2p. I don't want negative 2p, I just want p. Divide both sides by negative 2. And we see here finally we get p equals negative 25 halves, or negative 25 over 2. And call it a day. 2 more examples. Example number 4, 10 over p minus 3 equals 4 over p plus 4. So in this case we have binomials in both fractions. Okay, I'm going to put these in parentheses. Okay, just to remind myself I'm going to distribute. So we got 10 times the quantity p plus 4. 10 times the quantity p plus 4 equals, and going the other way now, 4 times the quantity p minus 3. Okay, let's distribute in. We got 10p plus 40 equals 4p minus 12, and I distribute the 4 to both sides. So I'm distributing on both sides here, okay? So now I want my terms with p on one side. Let's start there. So I'm going to bring the 4p over to the left. So minus 4p minus 4p. And this would leave me with 6p plus 40 equals negative 12. Okay, so I still want to isolate my 6p, so I want to bring my positive 40 to the left. So minus 40 minus 40. Bring this down, so I now have 6p equals positive 40, negative 40 simplifies, equals negative 12 minus 40. Watch your signs here, watch what you're doing. Negative 52. And then finally we're going to divide both terms by 6, and we have p equals negative 52 over 6, which simplifies. You can divide these both by 2, so we got negative 26 over 3, and that is my final answer. I'm going to take a look at this part one quick second. So at this step here, okay, you actually can combine steps and do 2 things at once. Since I want to bring the 4p over this way and the positive 40 this way, you can actually do both of them simultaneously. So let's say minus 4p here. That will bring my p's to one side, and I could subtract 40 from here, and that will bring my terms without any p's on the other side. And then this will leave me at 6p equals negative 52, and then that will bring me back to this part of the equation here. Okay, so you can combine at this step here if you feel comfortable. Let's take a look at one more example. Okay, so 8/3 equals the quantity x minus 5. Oop, I'll put this in parentheses, x minus 5 over the quantity x plus 1. Again, putting these both in parentheses. So I have 8 times the quantity x plus 1 equals, and I have 3 times the quantity x minus 5. Okay, I'm going to distribute in on both sides. So we have 8x plus 8 equals 3x minus 15. Okay, so combine like terms. I want my terms with the x's on one side, my terms without the x's on the other side. Alright, so let's get this back in there. So I'm going to do this all in one step. So I'll bring the 3x over, or I'll do it both ways. So I'll bring the 3x over, so minus 3x minus 3x. So I have here 5x plus 8 equals negative 15. Then I want to bring the positive 8 over to isolate the 5x, right? So I'm going to get the term with the 5x by itself. So I have minus 8 on one side, minus 8 on the other. bringing down my 5x here. So I have 5x equals, these two simplify, negative 15 and negative 8. I get negative 23. And I don't want 5x, I just want x. So let's divide both sides by 5. And you see here that x is equal to simply negative 23 over 5. Okay, if you want to combine these two steps in one, great idea, I love it. Let's look at that. Let's look at that way. So we're bringing the 3x over this way. We're bringing the positive 8 to that side. So let's do this simultaneously. So minus 3x, and this one's going to be minus 8, minus 8. And we'll bring down to 5x. Those simplify, see you later, equals negative 23. And then that will bring you right to that step here.